Many are unaware of the side effects of globalization. Misunderstanding these side effects derives from the fact that many are not familiar with the meaning of the term. Globalization is the process by which businesses or other organizations develop international influence to start operating on an international level scale. Let's use Apple as an example. Apple is one of the most successful American corporations. However, their wealth is based on the fact that their product is made in a foreign country that costs cheap labor and then is sold in the US for a pretty penny. Some may not see the harm in the situation and think the company is simply trying to have business. However, what these individuals do not realize is the fact that this American company is stunning the growth of the American economy. Since Apple has taken their business elsewhere and pay non-American citizens to work, many US citizens are left out of work and less money is cycled through the economy. Today, I will provide evidence on how globalization hinders our US economy, and it hinders it in many ways. They're hindered by Americans losing tons of their jobs. It prevents the economy from reaching its fullest potential, and ways we can avoid this cancer. Those are the reasons I will state why globalization is bad. Globalization has impacted this country for a long period of time. One way globalization has been hurting this country is by its way of easily replacing American workers. In the article, U.S. Tax Policy in Light of Globalization and Growing Inequality, D. Alessandro states, although unemployment rates are low, wages have not increased, and many employed Americans cannot afford basic necessities with their after-tax wages. Wage stagnation has led to a rise in income inequality, a decline in the middle class, and it has had an overall negative impact on the economy. When corporations take jobs to other countries, they are taking the jobs these middle class citizens would be interested in taking part of. And since these jobs are gone, these middle class individuals become left with undesirable jobs. Some of these undesirable jobs may include maybe part of service, such as fast food restaurants or being a janitor. Globalization is steadily eliminating the middle class from our system, only leaving the rich and the poor. This sense of loss reinforces the idea that globalization hinders the economy. Now I would like to discuss how globalization hurts our economy and restrains it from reaching its fullest potential. As I previously mentioned, taking away jobs from the American people not only leaves many unemployed, but also a large hole in our economy. The article, How to Save Globalization, Rebuilding America by Kenneth Sheave. This article shares the problem goes beyond income inequality. The usual policy solutions are inadequate. It is not enough simply to redistribute income to financially compensate the losers from globalization. The act of globalization limits the money flow in the economy. The money taken and exported elsewhere can never be retrieved, leaving our economy at a loss. Although companies face a win-win by hiring cheap foreign labor, our economy will continue to face the consequences. If globalization persists, our economy will continue to fail. However, there is hope. I will now discuss ways in which the U.S. can avoid and defeat globalization. Now you guys got the gist on why globalization is not convenient for us, the American people. There are ways where we can fight to prevent this tragedy. It starts with us, through voting. Elected officials are the reason why globalization exists. In the article, Which Buck Stop Here? Accountability for Policy Positions and Policy Outcomes in Congress by Philip Jones, he states, members of Congress certainly seem to think about their electoral futures in terms of the policy votes they cast. This shows many things. Since data usually tends to show rich white folks voting the most, one can determine the reason for casting their votes. For their own interests, of course. Major corporations have the power to keep in office who convene them the most. Someone who is willing to vote for bills expanding trade and globalization, when Congress starts to realize that we, the middle class individuals, are starting to vote, that is when they will start to listen to us. This is the way to take back what has been lost in America. Now that I explained how globalization takes jobs away and restrains the United States from its full potential, I ask you as a fellow American to take more interest specifically during the voting season and politics in general. It might not be as exciting as watching a movie or playing a sport, but it can impact many lives, the whole nation. Voting will take out the elected officials who are only in it for the money and any other interest that comes their way, and to not make America better again. I hope you guys take into consideration the downfalls of globalization and how each one of us have the power to vote and to change the future. Thank you.